Hey guys, this is Ashley White, the owner of the Polka Dot Alley, and I'm so excited to introduce you to the Alley podcast. So, one of the things that I feel like we had a lot of you asking me to touch on in the Alley podcast was about our vendors and about our brands and how I make those decisions on who we buy from, maybe why we stop buying from them, things like that. I have some brands that I've carried for a really long time. I have some that ebb and flow. There's years where I'll carry them pretty heavily, and then maybe it just pares down a little bit. Maybe they pick back up, maybe they don't. There's a lot of different reasons. One thing I have definitely learned in this industry is things are, number one, constantly changing. Number two, trends are changing. And if some of those brands don't evolve with the trends, then you kind of stop shopping them as much. Maybe they were selling Chevron like crazy when Chevron was a thing. So I was buying a ton from them, but they never really moved past that. As that trend died, which boy did it die, I'm not going to carry that anymore. Who's been here with me since the Chevron days? Because let me tell you, those were the days. If I could find anything with Chevron on it, it was going to sell, and it was going to sell like hotcakes. I don't think we've had anything like it since. But I have some brands that I have bought from them because they've always stayed with the trends. Their trends have changed as they should. You continue to buy, we always sell. I have other brands that I have continued to buy from because I love the person. Maybe I didn't always love the item. Maybe I had to really scavenge to find those good pieces because they weren't necessarily my aesthetic, but I loved the person or I loved the brand and I wanted to carry it. So I feel like you're going to have different reasons for why you carry certain brands. As anyone who shops with us knows, I would say probably our number one brand is Adrian, and that is twofold. Adrian, I wish I could tell you the first time I shopped with Adrian. It's been a very long time, since probably her early years. Her name is actually Hannah, and her husband is Eduardo. They have two sons, and Adrian is their oldest son, and Hudson is their youngest. Let's not leave out Hudson. So, at first, when I started carrying Adrian, and this is how it is, I think, for anyone in this industry, you don't just like immediately know the owners. Usually, you don't have those relationships formed because why would you? You're carrying dozens, potentially hundreds, potentially thousands of different brands. So on both ends, their end and mine, they're not able to establish relationships with every single boutique that's carrying their brand, nor am I able to establish one with every brand that I'm carrying. So in the beginning, it doesn't start out that way. I have no idea when I even met her, to be honest. We started carrying the brand, and I just remember I loved it. I loved the patterns. I loved the designs. I loved the poncho tops. That was just something that it sold really well for us, and we really liked it. And it is crazy and wild how, two stores. I have a friend that has a store, and I feel like we have a pretty similar target market, similar taste. And I remember her saying, gosh, I wish my girls would buy it. They won't. They don't want to pay for the higher price point items. And so it's really interesting how some people can have one reaction and then others can have a totally different. But for us, it was a great seller. It was a huge seller. It was something that I personally always was wearing. I mean, my gosh, I didn't even plan this, honest to God. And I'm in an Adrian Basic tee right now. So I have always worn the brand. I have always loved the brand. Well, over time, of course, as we started ordering more, chicken or the egg, I don't remember how it happened, but then I was able to develop that relationship with Hannah and become friends outside of everything on top of that. So we've created a relationship where we go to Craig's in LA every time I'm there. She takes us for a yummy dinner, and we look for celebrities every time. We did sit by Justin Bieber and Haley the couple times ago, but we love going there with her. We love hanging out with her. And guess what? You know what? 9 times out of 10 on those dinners, we don't even talk about anything work related. We are laughing, talking about the notes we get home from our boys' teachers. And we're talking about so many other things. We have fun together. So that's one thing with her, is that we have that relationship. But now on top of that, she has shown me so much respect for the business that we have given her. And in so many ways, we get free shipping for life because we order all the time from her. And she takes my feedback for the longest time. Funny story, but all of her items did not have a name. This top is actually now the Ashley, funny enough, but all of these items just had a number. And so when I would go to reorder, it was quite the headache because the poncho top, for example, so the poncho top would have its number, and then she would put dash red, blue, orange, abstract, or something crazy. So every print would have this really long thing that we would have to put in our system as the SKU in case we needed to reorder. So every time I was sending her a list to reorder, I was like, Hannah, give these a name. This is crazy. And so she finally did it. So now every one of her bodies has its own name. We have the Jody and we have the Ashley. Everything has its own name. And then she gives it a color and she names the pattern now. So instead of it being red, blue, yellow, green, abstract, now it will be Paradise Punch or whatever that color may be. So all of you boutiques carrying Adrienne, you're welcome. We got that going and I'm so thankful that she did it. I think it made a huge difference. There have been so many other things that have happened. Us inspiring her to do the cotton line. And then because I was the one that inspired her to do the cotton line, she sent me all of her cotton samples first so that we could showcase it first and we could sample it first. And she takes my feedback. So it's a two-way street. And I feel like there are a lot of boutique owners that maybe don't look at it that way. And they treat sometimes some of the vendors as if they not are beneath them, but it's like, I'm giving you the business, so you need to, whatever. And I feel like a big thing that we have learned, and maybe I used to do that in the beginning too, I don't know, but I know that now it's a partnership. It's more of a partnership. And rather than me being their customer and thinking they need to, do what I want or what I say or something like that. I think it's about realizing like we're in the same industry. I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. You don't have to treat me any different than I have to treat you just because I'm the customer. And I think that's a huge thing as a society we've all realized, which is really nice too, is the customer is not always 100% right. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't, and you still just have to act as though they are because maybe they're not like totally wrong. Maybe it's just bending your policy just a little bit. And I think in those circumstances, it's warranted. But sometimes you can just get some mean people, and I think we have learned that we don't put up with that anymore. Not even meaning us at PDA, meaning us just as a whole. I think that there is a level of decorum that is expected. And I think that it is no longer acceptable to do that old adage of customers always right. So I'm going to do whatever I want and say whatever I want. And so people don't really try that stuff anymore. I think people are much kinder. I think people are more patient for the most part. And realizing that this is a partnership in all regards. So whether that be a food salesman and the manager at Albertsons or me and Hannah from Adrienne, I think it's just about realizing that we're all in this with the same end game and we're all supporting our families and we're all working really hard. And the kinder and the more helpful and respectful we can be, we can create some really awesome relationships. So in doing that, I've created some really good relationships and made some really good friendships. And I love some of those vendors. So even if I didn't like what they sell, which I do, I would work with them on, hey, I need you to do more of this, or this isn't my vibe. And I get it if maybe I'm not your customer anymore, but I really wish you would do more of this because I think I could sell it more. And they honestly are all really good about the feedback. They want to know. They want to know. We had a couple years with White Birch where I loved Jean. I loved White Birch, but their style was not selling as well for me. They had gotten pretty wild with their patterns and their stretches. And they were just catering a little bit, I felt like, to a different demographic than what I was. And normally, had that been a vendor that like I didn't know them, I didn't have a relationship, I just wouldn't have gone in that booth at Market anymore. And I just wouldn't have shopped it because it's not really my vibe right now. That's okay. Maybe it will be later. Maybe not. There's a million to choose from. But Gene is amazing at creating those relationships. He becomes friends with the boutiques that carry his brand. And it truly does not matter if you are buying a ton and you are his top customer, because I know I'm not. If you're buying a little bit, I was not buying a lot when I created my friendship with him or we created a friendship. Because I didn't like some of the stuff. So I know I was nowhere near one of his biggest, but he's friendly. He's easy. He's chatty. He's somebody who wants your feedback. He wants to know, like, okay, what do you want me to sell? What are you selling a lot of? What are your girls buying? What do they like? And I feel like people who, vendors especially, who are open to that feedback and who don't feel like this is what I'm making, this is what I'm selling, you either like it or you don't, which more power to them. Maybe they've got a great customer base and they don't need to reach any further. But I have found that the vendors who are looking for feedback, who are open to constructive criticism, who want to evolve and grow with the changes and trends, those are the ones that I've stuck with. Those are the ones that I've created and formed and had those relationships with, because it is a partnership. And we do see that I'm like, help me help you. I want to make the money. I want you to make the money. This is what we need more of. And they do that. And they test out samples. And I've had FaceTimes with Gene where he was designing on the computer and FaceTiming me saying, okay, what do you think about this? Or should we add this? And I love that. And for that, I can't fathom there ever being a day that I won't carry White Birch. So that's where I am with Adrian. That's where I am with White Birch. I've got other brands like Buddy Love. Buddy Love, sometimes it's a huge hit for us. Sometimes it's not. It is a higher price point. Some of their styles are catered. Sometimes I think to a certain body type or maybe a certain age group. But then they'll come in and they'll do some caftans that blow me away, or poncho tops that could work for any woman. And then I'm like, oh, yes, I do love you. I do love you. Let's do more. I love that they are located here in DFW. And I love that they come to us. They come to us every couple months with their little bus and show us all the styles and have us order. They're all three of those brands actually too are just good people. When I lost everything in my fire, they all sent stuff. They all did things for me. For my birthday, Hannah has sent me beautiful, forever roses. And Gene texts and checks on me anytime he hears anything's going on. Buddy Love sent me a whole pile, a stack of clothes in my size for me right after the fire for me to wear. They've all done things, and whether it's a gift or it's a text or it's checking in or how can I help, they let you know, like, I'm your partner in this business. What can I do to help you? And those are the people I want to support. I would rather give my money to them. I've got some brands, and I'm not going to say those names, that I maybe don't have big relationships with. I don't know the owner. If I saw them on the street, I don't know who the owner is. I don't know who I'm supporting, but dang, does that brand sell well? And I buy a lot of it because it sells and because I love the product and because it looks really good. And it's a consistent sell through and it's a consistent fit and quality. And we do have those brands and I love those brands. I don't have a relationship with those brands, but business is business. The stuff's cute. We're going to keep selling it. But one thing I have found, and I think could serve as, not that any vendors are watching this, but as, kind of a reminder to them is, as new brands are coming in, just like there are more boutiques coming in and it can get a little bit saturated. It's the same with vendors. When you're looking at denim, for example, I'm in Risen right now. So whether I'm in Risen, Judy Blue, Micah, I feel like all of these brands, it started with Judy Blue. I think they blew up really fast. We had a really hard time all getting restocks and getting more because it was so big and so popular. We then saw Risen, Vervet, Micah, they're all coming through. And you go, okay, these are all great jeans. These are all stretchy jeans. These are all good quality jeans. What's going to make me buy one more than the other? Well, in steps Micah. Mike from Micah is amazing. I already can tell is going to be a relationship vendor like some of those others. I'm able to text him personally. I text him this morning about our new jeans that we just got. Gosh, what are they called? The Evelyn. And I love them. And I actually wore them this weekend. They were so cute. They have these little pleats. And I was like, I need more of these. Like, can I get them ASAP? He said, send me your order right now. I'm not going to tell you everything he said because other boutiques would get mad. But he hooked us up is all I'm going to say. They were limited. He was making it happen. He said, I'm giving you free shipping. I needed a sample for our birthday live of the Cosmo flares. They weren't going to be in. And he 2-day aired it to me. I think there are a lot of brands that are going to go, well, she hasn't ordered a lot from us yet. Or, well, we need to do this. And he's so great about being like, I can see this being a good partnership. I'm investing in her now because I feel like it's going to pay off. And it has. And so now, whenever I need something, I have found myself reaching out to him amongst all the denim brands because I know that he's going to get that out for me. He's going to rush to make that happen. Just like with you guys, it's twofold. You know, we've told y'all from the beginning, if we're behind on shipping and you need something for a trip, shoot us an email. And really, it's been so nice because I think it's real easy. You know, you could think, oh, everybody's going to do it. Everybody's going to email. They don't. People are good inherently. The honesty policy, the honor system, it works. And so we do get emails from people saying, I really need this for an event or I need this for an occasion. Can you get this out to me? Sometimes there's a, can you ship this faster? Or maybe we break our policy because the post office says it was delivered. They said it wasn't. We haven't had an issue with them before. All right, let's help them out. Let's send it out. I think it's just like a case by case basis and knowing the difference when someone's going to take advantage of you and when they aren't. And I think that I try to be to these vendors the way that customers are to us, and that we can have that relationship that I think we can then grow on. So I'm really excited about continuing with Micah and see what we do with them. I have a lot of other brands that I love that we've carried for years. Treasure Jewels, Tatiana from Treasure Jewels, her husband and her kids, they are a family. You know you're supporting that family. She treats us like family. I love the relationship that we have with them. And that's a brand that I 100% want to continue to carry. Buddha Girl. I don't know the owner of Buddha Girl. I never met her, but I love the brand. I love the product. They do spoil us and take care of us. I get a sample of every item before it launches. They send me a sweet gift box of everything and let me order ahead. Not just me, a list, I'm sure, of boutiques order ahead of other people. But I'm not saying I have to be best friends with every brand we carry. That wouldn't be realistic. But the ones that I do have those friendships with, I absolutely try to order more from. I go to them first to try to pick those items out so that I can cultivate the friendship and the relationship. And I know that when I'm in a pinch and I need something, they're going to help me out, just like they know that I'm going to help them whenever they need it. So those are kind of some of our, I'd say, top brands that I've focused on lately. Of course, we have a million others. We love GG. Ray is my rep at GG, and I adore him. He is the sweetest thing ever. We love buying from him. There's so many others that we buy from that some of them I do have those relationships with. Some of them I don't necessarily, but I still love the items, or I love the reps. I love my rep at Easel. She's super sweet. I love my rep at Jodeful. She's awesome. They make it easier for me to make my selections. We do FaceTime appointments. A lot of people have asked what my process is when I go to market. I would love to tell you that I'm this really smart businesswoman that has this budget and has a plan, and I go into market knowing I'm going to spend this much in this division, whether it be denim or shirts or whatever. I don't. I go in and I see what I like and I grab it. We've been loving THML lately. I think their stuff is looking really good. Intro is a forever staple for us. Their product is just good. It's consistent. We love it. We love the look of it. Gosh, what else? I could go on all day. There's so many good brands. We have not done as much on the jewelry and gift front lately. Shoes, I love Shoe Shop. Adolfo just had the cutest little baby Max. We sent a fun little baby gift for that. We have not done as much on the gift and jewelry and shoe front. I do love all of those things, but it gets really hard. It gets really hard trying to organize all those things in the warehouse well. It even honestly gets hard doing a live whenever you have to stop changing clothes and then go to jewelry mode or go to shoe mode. It's not always easy. So I'm trying to figure out how to kind of balance that and balance not only the buying for those things, because they're on different floors at market, different vendors, but also balancing the storage and the sales of those items, categorizing them well in social media and on the app, things like that, so that we can make sure they get that same focus as the clothing, or maybe just deciding what our dynamic will be for that. But I think the biggest thing for me, 17 years in, is learning that it's less about the brand as it is about who's behind the brand, and knowing that I really want to support those that I know support me back. And I don't mean they support me back by shopping with me necessarily. I just mean they support me back by wanting to see me succeed, by wanting to see my business and my family succeed. And so I want that in turn for them. I know there's a lot of brands that I didn't mention If anyone's watching this and you're one of our vendors, I'm so sorry. And I promise that I love you. Those were the ones right off the top of my head that I just definitely had to make note of and say something about. But as the business grows, as the industry grows, the brands change. Cotton Blue, who we absolutely adored, has decided to go in a different direction. We loved Christian and we loved that brand. And he was getting married. He didn't want to do all the shows anymore. They've decided to sell. So you won't be seeing Cotton Blue with us right now. Who's to say what will happen with that down the line? I don't know. But that's why sometimes you may see brands leave. It's not always a story. It's not always anything juicy. Sometimes it's that brand's not there anymore, or maybe they rebranded to a new name, or maybe they got really big really fast and I couldn't get restocks. There's a lot of different reasons that can come into play. Sometimes it's truly as simple as we carry so many things, I kind of forgot about them for a minute. And so I didn't order as much because we just got really busy and we got crazy, or maybe they skipped a market. But we always love your feedback. We always love hearing from you. What brands do you want to see more of? Maybe are you having any feedback for some of those brands that we need to pass over, whether it be good or bad, and just help us kind of decide the direction that you want us to continue going. But one thing I can tell you is those brands that I mentioned are probably here to stay. As long as they're in business, I want to support them. And another thing that you can always count on with us is I'm going to look for that consistency in sizing and quality. I'm going to look for comfort over all else. And then I'm still going to make sure to pull in some of those cute weekend Vegas outfits that maybe aren't the most comfortable, but they're going to make you feel really stinking cute. So the vendor relationship is my favorite side of this entire business, that paired with the customer relationships. If I could just live and breathe for buying and selling, talking to the vendors and talking to you guys, it would be cake for me.
Hi, everybody. Happy birthday to us.